you want me to say? Yeah. 1, 2. Yeah.
Clap.
Hey everyone, my name's Yvonne Chapman. I play Avatar Kyoshi on Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I also play Zhilan on CW's Kung Fu.
My name is Leslie Kwan. I am part of the action design team, and I was a stunt double on Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I was also part of the action design team and stunt doubled on CW's Kung Fu.
So I grew up playing, it's not martial arts, but I grew up playing a lot of sports, and then I went into Muay Thai like recreationally and for fun. So I took that as my workout, you know, quite intensively, like during our Kung Fu time on the CW too. So that would be my foray into martial arts. Yeah. Fun fact, Leslie and I are both from Calgary, and my friends were mutual friends with Leslie back in his Wushu days.
Yeah.
And yes, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, well, I mean, Wushu was really popularized by Jet Li in, Shaolin Temple, Once Upon a Time in China, all that. The scale of it, Wushu is very performative. It's a performance martial art. It is a sport that is now just entered like the Junior Olympics, and they're still pushing to get into the Olympics. There's a level of artistry in it as well that is so enticing for film and television because there's a certain aesthetic that comes with it that's so appealing, right? So even for myself, I've been a member of the Canadian national team 2013 to 2017 when I decided to retire from competing after that.
Wow. Yeah. So you and I got to work together both on Avatar: The Last Airbender and CW's Kung Fu, and you were a action designer for CW Kung Fu. I have to say, guys, like the stunt team needs more accolades, more credit for what they do, and I would love for people to understand what goes into that job and what you guys do as a team to get that teed up on the time schedules that you're up against and the people and training it all.
I was kind of thrown into the fire and quickly had to pick things up and learn, right?
I would never have guessed that.
Thankfully, I had an incredible team on both Avatar and Kung Fu with just how patient they were and how thoughtful they were and generous with teaching.
For sure.
Right? And learning everything is just seeing how deep the stunt team and the action design team works with every single department.
Yeah.
In the process of action designing, what we typically do is we'll go through a script for whatever episode it is, read it through in its entirety, figure out where action exists, and then we start kind of building our action there. There's a lot of talks between our stunt coordinator, who basically handles all of the safety aspects of it, of like what is feasible, what is plausible. And then we have our fight coordinator who facilitates action beats that we need to create because, writers will script a very particular thing. So we just have to make sure that we hit those beats. We like to ask actors for their input as well and just figure out, does this feel like something that Zhilan would do?
Totally.
It's their character, they embody it, right? And everybody's so excited to train, everybody's so excited to learn and just get better because they take their crafts very seriously.
Make us look cool.
That's what it comes down to. Y'all are already cool, we just accentuate it a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
So when I started on CW's Kung Fu, I had never done any stunts to the level of what was being choreographed. Being intimidated going into it, like right after the first session, I was like, I feel so safe with these people. On that safety issue, you guys were so good with us and making sure that, as much as we needed to get the choreo down, but we were filming at the same time. So you guys were so thoughtful of our levels of exhaustion, our workload.
A lot of it is we understand how exhausting it is for us. We can only imagine how difficult it might be for actors that don't have that same level of experience, right? They may be capable of keeping up, but again, it's just one of those things when you're not prepared for it, it's gonna be difficult, right? And if you're shooting the whole day and then you have to do this, or you do the fight and then you have to go do, mountains of monologues, that kind of thing. It's trying to make sure we preserve the performers enough so that they can continue to perform at a high level. You understand that I can shoot this piece, I know where it starts and where it ends, I can overlap here to get to this next thing.
It's like editing as you go.
100%.
So you have all of the shots out there and you're like, I know where each piece is gonna lie, and it just makes everything so much more efficient for everybody. And the crew, directors, everybody's so appreciative of that.
How did you feel about the cultural differences or like the stylistic difference from going from Zhilan, who was kind of evolved into this badass assassin type character, And then with Kyoshi, you know, master of all four elements and all four mounts are very traditional styles. How did you feel in comparison doing two different styles?
Oh, I mean, like they're two entirely different characters. For Zhilan, I think, you know, because she was an assassin, so and a lot of the combat was either guns or hand to hand.
Yeah.
So for her, it was more brute force. Where Avatar Kyoshi there's an elegance to her because I felt like it was using a lot of chi and like the flow of energy had to be in balance in order to master the elements. And a lot of that is that idea, the flow, the balance of energy. So it was completely different for me in the way of how it felt.
Yeah.
And all of it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Because I think too with especially what was cool about Zhilan is that Zhilan's sister Pei Ling was the sifu at this monk monastery, right? And so within the scope and the world of Kung Fu, how do we really showcase the difference in characters and maybe why they have that particular style? For you to jump into being someone like Kyoshi, were you talking about how the style with like elements, airbending and waterbending are two internal styles, right? So Bagozhang and Tai Chi. Whereas you still have external styles with earthbending and firebending. As you're embodying that character, knowing those things, does it help you
For sure.
get into that character
Yeah,
more?
yeah, for sure. And we talked about it too with the stunt team as well. Just because it always helps to have that background of understanding where the movements have come from. It's a piece of a puzzle that has to be there for all of it to come together because there's definitely overlap in personality for sure between Zhilan and Avatar Kyoshi. But for me personally, I just feel completely separate. They're mutually exclusive for me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So cool. It takes a village. Oh my goodness. Coming into
It really
film
does.
and just realizing how many departments, how many people in every single department. So how many people are talking to each other and trying to figure things out. You have to be very humble and grateful and thankful to the teams that put this all together. So very, very thankful for everybody. Yay.